Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeregga ebiseera bya covid yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze ndyokke.
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kosana amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kosana okuba plan ne architectural design balina plot enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private mile land n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka edabakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve ey'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 147 06 ne 0783 821 918.
Welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mboba mubanja rent.
Koyo kulaba abalenza abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk mukwano gwange gwali topic kiji wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time. Look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yina goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke. Bino bitu byasenga na ojja bafuna.
Naye ng'oli asitudde ttu yakedde ku makya baga nti nsitudde ttu. Naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yina gyandiyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digitalk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digitalk. Digitalk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Of the year. We are so sorry that we have come a bit 10 minutes late, but better late than never, that is the white man's saying. And without any wastage of time, my name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga, and I'm here to serve you in on grounds of the Alternative Uganda or the Alternative Dig Talk as a whole. I'm not working alone. I'm working with the glamorous Teddy Tenjo as my producer and Rogers Turiahabwe as the man on camera, and of course Director Okuntiko Oyoye Kato Tumusime. Special shout outs to everybody who's watching the Mighty Drive yet again. It's always an insightful morning, and it's always a pleasure to have you on air every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Today, we are fortunate enough to be having Mr. Abdallah Tiff. He is a journalist and he is a politician as well. How does he actually balance this? How does he balance his work and still be neutral at the end of the day, and also being partisan, as he is the representative of JEMA, that is the political party that he was representing in the 2016 elections and still came back in the 2021 elections. He has lost both elections, and we shall be asking him what happened right there in Busia, where he was standing as the Honorable Member of Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and let's start off the discussion with the news that has been trending all over the country and all over the world. We have a couple of stories, starting from President Museveni, Yoweri Tibuhaburwa. On Friday night, you had him. He said what has been going on. He said that he is still in stand for non-cash bail or non-bail for those capital offenders up to at least 180 days. That is 6 months. He says a capital offender should be behind bars for at least 180 days, that is 6 months, in order for him to actually be able to ask for bail. He still stands his ground, and he says he's not going to be changing his narrative. As he was speaking on Friday night, remember him giving us a contextual background of where the NRA has come from and him as an individual. He says that the law of this country, or the law of the land, that is the constitution of Uganda, looks at the offenders' rights but has not looked at the victims. He says the victims also need to be listened to, and he also assures Ugandans that at least you should first of all listen to what the victims are really going through. And this has brought up a couple of questions which I shall be asking Mr. Abdallah Tiff right here on the drive. But before, let me ask yourself, the various people and who have been losing their lives over time. Remember the November 18th and 19th deaths that culminated into a number of young people losing their lives. Over 50 people lost their lives on those fateful days. Following that, people have been asking, don't those families actually as well need don't those victims need, don't they need a revenge, or maybe don't they need justice, because revenge is something not so good? So don't they need justice? That is what they were asking the president, and he says, and they also asked him, why is it that we're only looking at the capital offenders in a line of Sewanya and Segirinya, who were given out bail of 20 million shillings each that was paid for duly by these two individuals, but after releasing them, they were rearrested again by the security operative. So this has brought up, or has fueled a couple of debates and a couple of questions in the ears of Ugandans as well as the rest of the world. They say, what is not happening? Why are some capital offences looked at as mere capital offences or mere deaths of people, and nobody has actually been remanded up to now? And yet, when it comes to the legislators, especially the opposition members of parliament, that is Segirinya Mohammed, who is the representative of that is Kawempe North constituency, and also Alan Sewanyana, who is the representative of Makindye West, where we are broadcasting live from. So that has really been the talk of the weekend as the president of the country talked about these things. He showed clarity and said that when anybody tried to use the guns, they used them better. They were more committed to actually use the guns, and they were able to have an outright victory, in his own words, by 1986. From 1986, Uganda has been growing tremendously, and that is a fact for all of you who don't want to hear it. But of course, there are some nitty-gritties that have not been fulfilled for the last 35 years, as President Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni has been the president of the Republic of Uganda. That speech was more of something I would call maybe a personal appeal, and maybe he wanted to show Ugandans that he is really standing his ground on this particular point. He also summoned the NRM caucus last week, you remember, and he says he really wants to look at a change or an amendment in the constitution of the country. What will this take? Because I actually don't know. It is something that has been a world order thing where many countries believe that someone needs or deserves bail, because the constitution also mandates that a person is innocent until proved guilty or otherwise. Let me leave President Museveni right there and cross over to the capital, Kampala, but still talking about prisons, that is Kitala prison in particular. 3 journalists were remanded last week over what they called defamation. These 3 journalists include Kawalia Isaac Semulondo, aka Kays, yes, from the NBS fraternity or Sanyuka TV. He is the presenter of the Uncut, as well as Brian Wako and Marco Williams. These 3 journalists have been talking a lot of things that they don't really are not sure about the artist that is Omulangira Suna OS. They have been talking about a lot of things about this particular individual, which prompted the individual to open up a case against these particular individuals. They have been remanded, or they were remanded, up to the 15th of October 2021, following investigations that will be that are being made up to now, and they shall be seen on the 15th of October in court to see if they can actually be granted bail. So Kitalia is hosting Isaac Kawalia Semulondo. He is really renowned for talking about artists. He is an entertainment journalist. I would love to say, I don't want to say he's when they say Lugambo, gossip, those things are really they demean the journalist. The journalist is an entertainment journalist, and that is Kawalia Isaac Semulondo from the NBS fraternity. He was arrested and he was charged with defamation. And sometimes, we as journalists have a lot of things to say, but you have maybe to, look through your words before you actually disseminate them to the public. And Mr. O.S. Suna, Omulangira Suna, claimed that he has repeatedly told this gentleman about his conduct and about his words, that he has never stopped to continue to defame him as an individual. So this is a test of, and I think it is the first time I'm not seeing journalists actually coming out to really defend their fellow journalists, because at least if you know Mr. Semulondo, you would know that he is someone who maybe they say he's a loose mouth, omuntu ateria bigambo ayogeranga wichiba achize. Tukendeko wabweru wegwanga, Rodrigo Duatete, that is the president of the Philippines. He said not to return as the vice president. Remember, the constitution of Philippines mandates that a president can only rule or have a tenure of 6 years. That is once. Ichishanja chibachimu for an individual. So Rodrigo Duatete was camouflaging and wanted to return as the vice president of the country, since it's also an elective post, and he wanted to bring another senator to be the president, and that meant that he would be the brains behind the president and he would be vice president, which maybe would not have been welcomed well by the Philippines. But ladies and gentlemen, in fact they are called the Filipinos because the country is the Philippines. So In this regard, Mr. Rodrigo Duatete came out and said the spirit of the people who made the constitution did not actually believe that if you leave presidency, you would come back as the vice president. That would be gluttonous, or that would be, you know, being self-centered as an individual and having individualistic, you know, tendencies. But it is not the first time that Mr. Rodrigo is saying words and actually comes back to, you know, not fulfill these words, because Mr. Duatete has gone back on his word many times. So I would surely tell you he is not a man of his word, Mr. Rodrigo Duatete. So we cannot really trust his judgment. And so in this regard, his daughter Sarah Duatete will be, or maybe, coming in as president, because many posters have been flying the streets of Manila, showing, and the people really requesting her to come and replace her father as the president of the Republic of the Philippines. But how what shall happen? Because in this regard, you know, Manny Pacquiao, the boxer and the senator in the Philippines, is also going to be coming as the president, and many people have looked at him as the next president of the Republic of Philippines. By the way, he is one loved individual right there, and they were what they call very good friends with Mr. Rodrigo Duatete, but over time they have fallen out. And you've seen how Mr. Rodrigo used to organize his fights, including the one fight they had with Manny Mayweather. That was, I think, 2016, 2017, I'm not sure of that particular year. But Mr. Rodrigo has seen to be in line with this particular individual. But over they have actually fallen out of their friendship. So Mrs. Rodrigo, Sarah Rodrigo, the daughter of Rodrigo Duatete, will be, or may be, coming in as the president. And that will be, we shall wait up to 15th November, because that is when actually the polls or the registration of the candidates will be ending right there in the capital of Philippines, that is Manila. So is Sarah Rodrigo coming, Sarah Duatete coming, or will it be Manny Pacquiao, the boxer that I really enjoy? I enjoy his speed, I enjoy his charisma. And yes, of course, he's going to be president. Why not? Let's wait and see. Because according to the polls, if he comes, it's not going to be easy. But of course, you look at that, he has a lot of you know, support in the country of the Philippines. What will happen right there, me and you will be seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cross over to Guinea. That is Guinea Conakry, where one's favorite, that is Roger's favorite, Kano Mamado Domboya, is now a fully sworn-in president of the Republic of Guinea. And by the way, Kano Domboya says, told Mr. President Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Museveni that I think you should start minding your own business, because Guinea is an independent and sovereign nation and really can take care of its you know, problems or internal conflicts. Remember, the president of this republic came out to tell Mr. Domboya that it is outdated to be staging a coup like that to a president who was in, you know, who was actually elected by the people. But Kano Mamado Domboya was sworn in as interim president of Guinea, and what surprised everybody is him telling the whole world that no soldier or not anybody who was in line with the coup will be president or will have any elected position in the country. He says soldiers will remain soldiers, and they will transition and give power back to the civilians who will rule and create an interim government for Guinea Conakry. This has been welcomed by many international organizations, and many countries really condone and say, yes, at least you are going to be one of the few leaders that we have seen actually give back power to the civilian. But until he gives back this power to the civilians, that is when we shall be sure that this gentleman is a man of his word. You know, Africa, people can promise you something else and then deliver something else. 20 people die in South Sudan. I'm talking about the global perspective right here, because many things have been going on all over the world. So let's talk about South Sudan. 20 people have died in floods that were in Sudan, or I think for the last week, that was Thursday and Friday. South Sudan experienced some heavy downpour right there in Khartoum, the capital of South Sudan. So over 20 people have died, and 17,500 17,500 people have been displaced by these particular floods. So the United Nations is doing everything possible to help these particular individuals. And of course, the Republic of South Sudan government is also doing whatever they can. At just, I think, 22 minutes past the top of the hour, allow me just finish up some stories with Zambia. Zambia has come out. Zambia is really one funny country. They have removed or they have lifted all COVID restrictions in the country. And remember, you may say that maybe they have lifted all these restrictions following vaccination of maybe 100% of the population. No, 3% of the population has been vaccinated. And remember, Zambia has over 18 million people who are in this country, a population of 18 million, but only 3% has been vaccinated, and yet they have actually come out with, they have lifted all restrictions. So bars will be holding any number of individuals they want. That means churches will be bringing as many people as they need, because all COVID restrictions have been lifted in the country. So they will be revising this in a month's time to see how it is going. But on the day they did this, I remember over 200,000 people contracted the virus, and over 3,900 people have died due to the coronavirus right there in Lusaka, Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, and ebyewunyisa tebigwa mu ggwanga lino, kano kankazze mu Luganda. Omwami CID w'Elwengo bagenze ne bafera President Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni millions 10 nga bagamba bamuletedde omwami Francis Ruhamya Kaka erinnya lye bakozesezza ne bagamba nti ono ssebo yabadde yafiirwa omuntu mu murders ezaali zigenda maaso, Masaka killings muzijjukira. So CID ya placings omwami nemuleeta neeraga nti no yali part of the victims, naye ng'ate amazima ddala teyali part of the victims. So what we are actually saying is that the CID has faked a death of an individual in order to claim the 10 million shillings that was to be given to each family that lost a relative in the Masaka killings as condolence, maybe by the president. But unfortunately, ansokaza nyinamu obubadi, CID w'Elwengo yaleese omuntu ow'Eruhamyaka ne ba fake relatives ne bakima sente ez'omuntu ataafudde atalinayo. That is Uganda for you. I don't know if this really surprises me, but Uganda is full of surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Abdallah Tiff, and he's going to be the guest of today, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And as we come to the end of the show, I think let's finish up with Mr. Patrick Katatanzi, the manager of Centenary Bank. He's suffering acid wounds following an attack on him along Makindye Road. He was going back home. Nebamugwako nebamuyira acid. Tetunategeera kiki ekyaleese attack and why he was actually brutalized like this. But Ugandans, it is not us to take the law into our hands, but maybe to respect it, because that's why the constitution of the country mandates. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the Mighty Drive, the Mighty Global News Updates with me, Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Abdallah Tiff is already in studios, and he will be joining me. And we start off to talk about different things. He is a journalist and as well as an activist and also a politician. How does he balance all these three? What was his inspiration to enter, activism and elections? What failed in the journalism's fraternity that made him to cross over to politics and democracy? That and more will be coming your way in this edition of the Mighty Drive. Remember, we are proudly powered by Praise Property Consults. These people deal in land and everything land related. Do you want a land acquisition? Are you selling your land? Do you want a house, or you're selling your house? They shall be in position to help you. They have land across the different roads in the country. That is Gayaza Road, and also Masaka Road. They have in Mitiana Road that goes to Fort Porto, and different roads that are leaving the country. Just call them. The number is 07067 147006 or 0783821918. You will be seeing all those numbers crossing on your screen. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we break for now and come back with the topical discussion of the day.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweerega ebiseera bya kovidi yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze ndyokke
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private Miloland n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing eyokusatu mu 2028 oba ku ssimu 0706 ne 0783
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo. Every Saturday right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent.
Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk. Mukwano gwange gwaliye topic kiji wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time. Look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yenna goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke. Bino bitu byasenga na ojja bafuna. Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku makya baga nti nsitudde tu. Naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yona gyandiyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Amacha malungi abatukereddeko ku mpeo zaffe za the Alternative Dig Talk. Farida Bikobere is my name. It is a Monday bamikwano obudde bwakedde dda abakyali ewaka enkuba yakedde sawa 10 ez'okumakya so abakyalowooza nti it is still raining bamikwano muzuukuke musambyeko mugende mukole. We are in the last quarter of the year ate 2021 tukube olukumutwe so bamikwano twanguweeko tugende tukole fwe naddala mmwe abakakalabiza mu kibuga Kampala abazadde bemwaleka mu byalo babeesunga ku Christmas bo tebalina kye bategese bamanyi abaana baabwe bakola so oba oli Kampala nga ate oli mu kwebaka it is not good. Bamikwano muzuukuke tugende tukole tunoonye ekigulira magala eddiba. Olwaleero ndi mu studio n'omukulu Edgar Mathew Karuhanga tugenda kubanga ate tubatambuza paka saawa 3 ez'okumakya nga ate tulina omugenyi waffe olunaku lwaleero nga sinamwogera njagala obbakubiriza nti ate we are live on Facebook. Go like the page and follow us ate bw'omala teweerabira okunyiga notification button babeere nga ate mukwano bakuleetera notification everywhere when we go live. Aba mikwano aba Arsenal tukabira wamu nammwe era tubagamba nti mwegumye mukama ajja kubajjukira someday. Nawulidde nga bagamba batandika ozibala kale bwe tukuba bano tuba tusembeddeko mu kifo ekyomusanvu bambi era ne bigaana patali katubasabire mukama ajja kubayamba. Our quote of the day is persistence, curiosity and the ability to adjust to change are the key qualities to a great journalist. Persistence, curiosity and the ability to adjust to change are the key qualities to a great journalist. Waliwo okupatira okungamba a new story should be like a miniskirt on a pretty woman. Long enough to cover the subject but short enough to be interesting. Good morning, Edgar, Mathew, Karuhanga.
Good morning. I like the way you make some statements. How was your weekend? You look lovely today.
Thank you.
I like the hairstyle and the dress.
Oh, thank you.
But today is not about Farida and her hairstyle. Today is about a journalist, Mr. Abdallah Tiff. Abdallah Tiff is a journalist, or was a journalist. I don't know how to term him. Was turned into activist, and he's now always a journalist. Yeah. And he is now a politician. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Mr. Abdallah Tiff. Good morning. Welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. It's a pleasure being here. I am actually here for the very first time. And I must say I am impressed.
Okay. Yes. So kubabuze ko ne mu Luganda bategere nti nalo lumanyi.
Abatulaba mwenna tubaniriza ku Alternative TikTok amanya gange nze Abdallah Tiff Mukasa. Okay. Ndi musanyufu okubeera wano olwaleero ndi munnamawulire. Okay. Because munnamawulire is always munnamawulire. This is a service. Yes, buweereza, so you cannot run out of it. Embeera yonna weetuukira, you must like skills zote zifedinga.
Banamawulire muyingidde nnyo mu politics naye ekyo tujja kuba tukyogerako later on. Naye katutandike n'okubuuza omuntu ali atamanyi omwami Abdallah Tiff yaani gwe tulina leero mu studio.
Abdallah Tiff is a simple man. Ngera bwendabika. What you see in me is what you get.
By the way, let me tell you.
Yes, because I know myself.
He is charismatic. Umre was here. He has already rapport with everybody. He smiles everywhere. That means he is a man.
I know, and I know myself. Sichangu nnyo muntu kubanga atakutegera okusinga gwe. So I know myself, and the beauty abajjalo uzati bulala ekisinga obulungi ekisinga obulungi kunze nti chondaba muchendi. What you see in me is what you get.
Sibyakweyisako.
No.
If I see a villain in you, will I get a villain as well?
Then that's what you've seen. Checho. Yes. So chemfanana chendi. Okay. I don't camouflage. I am what I am. Don't
pretend.
Abdallah Tiff is a journalist. Professionally, I am a journalist, an award-winning journalist. Wow. I have been active as a journalist for the last for 5 years. Yes. Between 2014 and 2018, I was very, very active. That was a space of 5 years. And Mumiake Tano, I was privileged. I have 5 accolades at home. Awards a ton. 3 local awards and 2 international awards. I am a politician as well. Politician is simanyi lwaki tuga nti that one is a politician. I think we would have had a better way of saying that. Maybe I am a political activist. I think it sounds better. You see someone who I am a politician. Angaganga gamba I am a doctor. Because being a politician, politics itself in its sense, it's about changing society. So if I say I want to change society, then society changes. Then what next?
Next is to be a politician.
You get? But so that is the same thing like activism.
Let's talk about the benefits that come with politics. MPs get over 25 million, and you say it's not a job. I think it's more of a job.
I think such incentives, they only exist in a country like Uganda. I don't think there is any sober country, any sober government, any sober group of people that will man this country and they give such incentives.
Definitely.
Tewali kanchogere ne mu Luganda abanda babachiwulire. Tewali government ya kigambo kyo Luganda kyenonye kiri soba. Chemba njagalo teka unga kiri. Kijja kuwawaza amatu. Naye nga kingeza kugamba tewali government egenda kujja mu ggwanga Uganda nga y'abasajja abali ku mulamwa abagenda kukwata milioni 2 baziwe omubaka wa parliament ng'emmotoka. That's ridiculous. No sober person can do that.
And 200 million can build
that only exists.
Hospital.
That only exists in a country and other countries which are like Uganda.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say that it is only happening in Uganda.
Why do you think our country can really make such insane decisions?
You see, what happens? Any group of people that is in charge of a country, like the administration of a state, you know, of course there must be a payback for the services, for the time. That is actually a facilitation. You get? But when it gets to such a point, then
the amount that ceases to be facilitation.
It ceases to be a facilitation. Now, let me give you an example.
Yes, Abdallah.
At one point, Uganda bagamba government yetuyambe. But we reached a point in the government Uganda mutuyambe. Answer like who should now wayamba. You know? Yes. You remember by the unateka yo kaka tuwarukanga kisindi. Watu ga mtu tuwe kasente Uganda you contribute to solo ku handling COVID-19. You get? And what surprisingly, Mr. Museveni is a very rich man.
Definitely.
Yatuwaye milioni yemu mu emitwalo bana sidanga mukuulira yondala aleka yatuwaye omulundi gumu nga tugamba nti ye was it 50% of his salary?
50% of his salary.
Kwa yatuga salary
afuna milioni 3 mu emitwalo nkaaga
then so net never 2.8.
Yes,
so that is salary. And do you think any sober Ugandan can buy such a talk?
But that is what the constitution says. The president
now
gets
that is a salary.
3.6 million.
That is a salary. And do you want to tell me that Museveni lives a life worth 3.6 million?
No.
So these are the ridiculous incentives I'm talking about. So bino bwe bijja kati member wa parliament chovula busanga omusajja mu Kadafira ku kintu because he is not there actually to serve.
He's there to get money.
That sense of serving the community, the sense of changing people's lives doesn't.
But doesn't it come back to the community? Because the community also exploits a lot from the legislators when they are going to power. I think you've stood for.
I've stood twice.
Twice.
I've stood twice. Yes.
Now you've gone through. You know what you go through when you're on ground. Ugandans will tell you, "Oh, what to what day in a face and after to get okulonda." So that is the narrative right here in the community. And they're the ones who are spoiling the politics.
Kakati, let me tell you this. We have all gone through that. And those other guys who have had the opportunity to stand, they have gone through that. But the problem is not with Ugandans.
Where is the problem?
And that's why I'm coming. The problem is with the political system of this country. Mr. Museveni, by the way, sichangu nnyo kwogera ku politics wa Uganda. And you avoid speaking about Mr. Museveni.
Yeah, because he has been in politics for 5 years.
For all the years, for the presidents we have had. But tuwakabera nambeka Mwenda?
Mwenda, yes.
Omwenda, he has led us atukala kasemyaka mingi okusinga kubali
Monango bagase.
So, sichangu nnyo kwogera ku politics wa Uganda. Not to mention Mr. Museveni.
Nekala kataiza
board.
Gamba atukule.
Byebyo. Now, kakati njagala kuzayo ku kiri kyenagamba nti problem eri ku political system yaffe. Mr. Museveni yateekawo system nti omulonzi gwe voter buli lwosanga politician yenna you have to bow down. Mukama wange sebo nobika batanafa because you want to get something from
them.
Definitely.
That culture has been deliberately instilled in the minds of Ugandans.
Kyovulaba osanga omusajja yeesimbyewo bwa LC wano ne bamuwangula akalwa amala omwaka mulamba atambula ayogera yekka kubanga ayagala bweru si bamusasula omutwalo gumu omwezi naye kyataddemu
okugamba nti obweru si bukwogeza omwaka omulamba nga oyogera wekka
tonnabalaba
nga bakusasula akatwalo
tonnabalaba nga yeesimbawo mu kalulu n'omubuuza akalwa akusendeza oteekamu zo zidda ddi ninga afuna omutwalo gutya naye olw'okuba bamuwangudde ajja amala omwaka mulamba batambula mu kkuba ayogera yekka omusanga ayogera oba abadde ki because ali frustrated Okitegedde? So ekyo mwami Museveni ne system ye nga bakulembera eggwanga lino bakikoze deliberately fe bannansi batufudde ba beggars. Gwe citizen buli lwosanga politician olina kwemoolamoola kwewombeka kwesasasa bitasasa kugamba omuimpressing akwate mu nsawo akole ki abeeko ne kyasuula. That is why anti the problem is not kukakana but kyenkugamba nti eyo kikoleddwa deliberately. Obwongo mindset y'abantu distorting obeerewo nga one people are too impoverished.
Naye oba ogamba deliberately obanga agamba nti no ekintu kya bakikoze bakigenderedde, that is the word you use.
Era kyentegeezezza
ne bakigenderera batyanga bino ebintu already in the constitution of the country.
The good thing
in the acts of parliament.
It is not anywhere in the legal books of this country that member of parliament will rusanga omulonzi inuma wakasente. It is not anywhere until the member of parliament will rensasula omusala nino okudda mbeko nange nebimpa kufuna mungi. Ochagade. So the reason I said it is deliberate.
Yes.
I want to we are privileged yabali wanofenna twasomako.
Yes. Definitely.
Nemu batulaba mulimu abasomako.
Abasinga 70% of Ugandans have gone to school. According to us.
Those are statistics. Now,
70% have gone to school.
Yes, those are statistics.
Yes, but
it's true. Those are the statistics.
Let us agree.
At
least the education
in Africa, in Africa now, Uganda is the fourth most educated country in Africa.
My brother. I've had the opportunity.
Yes.
Ntambuddeko in over 20 countries. Izisinga ngate mu Africa one. Ensi gyenyinza okukkiriza nti abayinza okwogera statistics zaabwe ku education nenzikiriza iti Zimbabwe.
Because it's the first year singira ddala by.
Onfuna. Because Zimbabwe ne bwosanga omuntu it's one. Ne bwosanga omuntu nga teyasoma at least you can communicate in English. Kakati education system ya Uganda mu binchusiza kati mu
tujja kudayo wali kasokamalize education system.
Ndagala nsoke nkuwa example. We all have villages where we come from.
Yes.
Nalaba documentary eya olutalo lwa mwami Museveni ngajja mu buyinza. I'm forgetting that
number 27 guns.
I know that is fabricated. Now there is I'm forgetting the journalist. He was working with, I think, BBC. He was communicating with the Abana Abomucharu from Ruwero in 1980.
Yeah, the white man.
Yes.
I remember the documentary, yes.
Njagalo ngambo lwaleero you can get such a journalist again mukyale wa mwejoza alibwa if you can communicate with kids abali mu primary. Gwe manya ekyalo kyo gyova oba ova kololo I don't know. So education system mwe mwewanira mu 70% basoma nga you can have a graduate who cannot speak English for 5 minutes,
who cannot express themselves,
who cannot even say my name is so and so ngata nagira bwat.
Yes,
is that the 70% you're talking about?
Today twasomako ngambe twasomako.
Now chengezaako okugamba
yes
tubadde tuwogera ku nsonga Museveni engeri gyatta mu system yaffe okufuula society eno nga buli omu beega. Edda bataata baffe baba abaafuna omukisa ne basomako basomanga subject gye bayitanga civics. Ffe tetwagisomako. Civics yali it used to enlighten the political thinking of the learners.
Yes.
Mr. Museveni bweyajja in 1986 civics was scrapped.
Even political education was scrapped later on. I'm preempting you.
Now, netubanga ffe tusigazza kusoma political education. Nafuna omukisa abasoma olwali tebagisoma.
Ffe twagisoma.
Nze nagisomako. Now, but tusoma political education. Yes? Nga ekuwako partially ku bye wandibadde ofuna mu civics.
Yes. Definitely.
olwokubanga Museveni wants to be with a gullible society.
Gullible ye omuntu alabira okumpi.
Political education they were scrapping off. Olina agamba kale tujja gisanga ku university tukole political science. My brother, it is not there. It is not there. Because kati wambuziza akagambo deliberate ke wakozeseza nga kabadde nga akagendere nti bakigenderera era okyambuza nti bakigenderera
kalinga akagenderere
kyekyo because deliberately ekintu okikola nga oyagala okeeping society eno nga abantu bali awo bajjegajiga.
You think he has achieved that?
Yes, he has. Yes. Chivola gobadonga manti 70% bana Uganda twasoma. But again at the end of it okiriziganyiza nange ndi tulina mpozi oyagala kunga nti 75% bagenda ko kusomero.
Yes, bagenda ko kusomero.
Because the truth is mama wange teyasoma naye yagenda ko kusomero.
Nakola yoki?
Yasoma ko.
There is an anti-literate.
Kakati ebyo ekibanga kyetwogera
abasobola okutegeera oluzungu lwoyo
ebyo birala kubanga n'olwaleero I think it is Twaweza. There is that entity called Twaweza, they work with Sauti and all that. By the report gye baafulumya nga abaana abajoininze primary bw'oba obafollowings up bwandibadde bamalira okusoma drop out rate eri above 60%. Onfuna
kakati UPE Universal Primary Education from 1997
bikyebyo
abasomesa bwe
UPE ate yesinza okwonona
products of the UPE
kubanga ba graduates kati nga UPE tenajja kyovola abaana basobola ng'okwogera ne journalist who is from Britain ng'omwana wa mukyalo Luweero asoma kyakusatu but the conversation could flow. Olwaleero ne bw'oleeta omwana yasomera mu UPE nga na masters alina degree from Makerere University bw'ayogera bajanga mga sorry I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Because waliwo problem. Ate bino society bye bintu byatayagala kuwulira. Bo batunulira bintu biri too obvious. If we need to have a better Uganda, if we need to have a better society, bana Uganda tuwewalirize nnyo ayino kinyuma kinyiga ne tuweforcing nnyo okulowoozaako ebitali bya bulijjo. That is where the problem is.
Twegombeko ku mawanga amalala.
Yes. Yes.
Because there are countries that have actually changed society and they've done great.
Because nze nina akagundi ke nasoma I almost shed tears. Nalaba akafaranyi buno bwa black and white nga President Idi Amin atudde ne yali I'm sorry what's the title for the alinga leader wa Arab Emirates. Nga Uganda is supporting Arab Emirates. Nga Uganda wa okay Arab Emirates kanonde ku just Emirate nga Uganda wa Dubai obuyambi kituufu in 1970s.
Right now it's the vice versa.
It is the vice versa. Uganda right now, the capital city of Kampala, it is not even better than the worst village of the Arab Emirates. So what happened as Checha tutuka kukatuna tatuagala?
There will be an individual who will tell you that from 1986 things have changed. The country has been.
Let me. Yes.
If you listen to what he said on Friday, Kamujuk is the president. Chiagama Friday. Economy was in shambles. The whole place was devastated. In the last 35 years, he has done a lot of.
How I wish Mr. Museveni could watch this. Mr. Museveni we yajjira mu Uganda.
Yes.
Dola yali egula sente mmeka. Kubanga dola ya Uganda olwaleero satu is the standard. Satu yabadde standard ne kati yasse. Now Mr. Museveni yajja nga dollar rate yali na 2 digits.
Ngeri mu 2 digits.
2 digits.
Kati ziri 4.
Onfuna. Kakati, bwe mutu gamba economy, you know, those are the narratives for the very no gamba people who don't man. Kati, two, kankwe nechirala. What was the population of Uganda by then? Because the bigger the population, it means there is
the growth.
No. The amount of money that comes.
The revenue.
Because nze n'okujja wano taxi nze sinnayingiza bo bafunye. While I'm moving from my home to here, bo bafunye dda banzijjako dda taxi. Nze sinnayingiza sinnakola. Ochegedde. Now, what was the population then? Yes, the revenue was less, but the population was also small.
Now the population grew.
Ochegedde. Now the population yekubizamu emirundi ebiri kumpi esatu. So batugamba nti revenue yeyongera kituufu, but now what has the revenue done? Ochegedde. Bali abasajja okwali ne ba president abataasomako basobola okupulaningira eggwanga lino. Idi Amin yali teyasomako yamanya nti Uganda yeetaaga ebere ne airline. Netandika ne airline ng'erina fleet ya nnyonyi 8. Bano abaasoma abatugamba mbu baasomako ne bajja ne bagamba bino tebisaana kubeerawo ne babitta. Have you ever been in a situation someone starves you n'akulumya enjala naye nga yalina in custody yalina custodian w'emmere gy'olina okola ki yalina ogikuwa then later ng'ostarvize nnyo n'akuleetera ekibakuli ky'emberengi n'osanyuka nnyo nyandi
weerabira nti enjala ebadde kuluma for the last
our topic of discussion is how journalists who are political activists or another could be professional while giving out
bakikola batya
nenga tetunagenda way it would be our discussion in the second hour. Twagala otubulire, you have pointed out all the problems of Uganda.
It's not all.
Most of them.
No, some.
Most. Let us agree you are a politician.
I've just mentioned a few.
Wali wesimbyewo? Unfortunately not item.
Naitam.
No,
because I achieved.
No position when to Mugamba.
No,
you win, but you don't take.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you this again. Let me tell you this. You see, politics. Huh? Mm-hmm. The purpose of politics is selling your ideas.
You know what's of you.
What's again? Kakati. Nze bwe mba nsobola okumeetinga population. Because ogenda mu kalungu oli wekka.
Was that the sole reason why you went to do the campaigns?
No, ebintu biba bingi, benefits ziba nyingi. Benefits ziba nyingi. Kiringa bwe bagamba. I just lost one single part of my expectations.
The main part.
The main part.
One part.
That was the main part.
One part. Because right now, the community where I come from, they know what Abdallah Tiff stands for, which wasn't the case before. Politics and the success of politics should not only be seen as being into Farida, Gwegundi.
But that is the main thing.
If we want to change society, we must change the narrative as well. I read that somewhere. So, tulina okukyusa ebintu bingi enkola gye bikolebwamu. Obuwanguzi, it is not only about kubeera victorious. Ochegedde, obuwanguzi bujja n'ebintu bingi. Kakati mwe mwagala okulowooza, Museveni kyayagala mulowooze.
Abdallah, nze nawe tukkiriza nti gavumenti ya Museveni mbi kituufu. Wali weesimbye okusavinga mu gavumenti ya Museveni. Si bwe kiri?
Ekibuuzo bakyobuuza kyobuuza obubi.
No.
Okay, kansoke nkuwulirize. Let me first listen. Let me first listen to your question. Please go ahead and ask.
You had stood to be elected to go to parliament and serve in a government of President Museveni. Twagala otubuulire. How different had you planned to be from the members that are in there? While your plan is obutatwala 200 million of the cash, what were you planning exactly to serve your people while in parliament?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Now, ekibuuzo ekyo onakamukwolesa ebyo banjagala okwongeraku nti wali weesimbyewo obeere member wa parliament nga Museveni ye president nebo nga nti okusabinganga, you know, anyway.
But it's the same thing.
Bisigala bya.
Kya mukulu Tibuhaburwa.
Okay, commander in chief. Now it's like this. Government in arms. Satu. Wadde neyafeno tukigattako though simanyi gye kyava nti the media it's the fourth estate kubanga we seem not to be recognized anywhere in that regard. Naye katukitwale nti tulina 3 arms of government. And constitutionally ebitabo bye tulina the legal documents we have bitulaga nti each arm is independent. If they're independent, on that paper, I don't know. That means if we are to go by that, nti buli arm eri independent. Kitegeeza emikisa mingi nnyo nti mu myaka gyange 5 nandi gikoze nga sifunye direct interface with Mr. Museveni because talina office ku parliament. Just like I don't have an office in the State House.
But he has a bigger say on what takes place in the parliament.
Yeah. He dictates him.
Yes, but I say the direct interface with Mr. Museveni. Nti tuli awo tusisinkanye. But again, Museveni by the way, siri mulabe wa Museveni. Museveni nabinyinde bimwagalako nange ng'omuntu. Because some story ya Museveni ngabo yali. He was a visionary guy.
Yes.
Definitely. Ye musajja yamanya kyayagala na kirwanira na kikola ki? Na kifuna. I love that figure with him.
He knew what he wanted.
The only problem I have with him nti chenandibadde musubiramu okukola with that figure gye yalina ate sikyali is just the opposite. Meaning nti ye yalwana for his self interests.
Era na ba politician between enaku zino mulwana for your self interest.
Let's break from there. Mr. Abdallah Tiff musajja ateria antama mu ngeri ngambo byayogera he was
I am and I am.
Okay, you are. He is a journalist and he stood for MP of Busia, but unfortunately he lost. But he says he did not lose. He says actually
I didn't lose it all. No,
definitely. Yeah. We're going for a short commercial break. When we come back, we start off with that discussion. Then we shall also talk about him balancing journalism and activism. Wasn't he actually being partisan in his work? My name is Edgar. I am with Farida and Mr. Abdallah Tiff. Let's go for a short commercial break. We shall be right back.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'ensonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeredde ebiseera bya covid yegandabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze njokke
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kosa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kosa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private mile land n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve ey'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 147 0 mukaaga ne 0783 821 918.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo. Every Saturday, right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility. Omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent.
Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga. Butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the alternative dig talk. Mukwano gwange gwali topic kiri wandyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time. Look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yenna goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke. Bino bintu byasenga na ojja bafuna. Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku makyabbaga nti nsitudde tu. Naye nga mutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yona gyandyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the alternative dig talk ku share enganzi the snap talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
It is our second hour of the show, The Mighty Driver. The page is The Alternative Uganda on Facebook. Engage in the discussion by commenting, liking, or even tagging your friend that you would wish they could listen to this show. It is educative, informative, and inspiring to you, the youths, and we abagala okufuuka leaders our next generation. We have Abdallah Tiff in the studios. Munnamawulire musajja ayogeza maanyi, but it's like any other opposition people. Like they will tell us parliament baba wabatya sente zo nyingi nyo mpitirivu naye when they go there there is nothing different. Twabalaba wano mu campaigns nga bavumirira ebintu biyitirivu. When that money came for the cars abamu ku bo bavayo ne bogamba nti neze sente ntono betaaga bongereko. That was the question before we went for a short commercial break. We were actually listening to Abdallah, him telling us his plans he had while in there if he had been voted to parliament. If he had been voted to parliament, yalibadenga akozesa ki esente ezo. Was he planning to use 10 million out of his salary in the last way? Banachalo, was he planning to leave other salary there? Kubagamba sente nyingi, sente zemotoka nyingi. Was he planning to only get 36 maybe to buy his own car? In the balance amuzeyo because the money is too much.
Kuzizayo.
Mugavumenti.
Ababyake.
Zalira zeyo.
Ofunye omunyaga atoguza. Wandi badombuza wandi zikoze muki sikuzaayo ewa Museveni bazaayo
Kyagulanyiga yazaayo.
That was a mistake. Kubanga omubbi bwaba akunyakudde nawe nofuna kyomusuuza atozaayo
Tozaayo nago.
Okoze otya. This is typical of all opposition leaders.
No.
Well, there's a problem with you politicians. I don't know. You have to serve the money as well.
I think ndoza kino kyetwayogeddeko in the start nti wotunulira politics waffe wano factors ezidrivinga politics zonna nfu. Politics yandibadde atambulira ku ideas. Who has better ideas for the community?
Yes.
Now, eyo politics yavaayo. Politics are based on anali nakachi. That is why people mortgage their buildings. Oli natunda ekizimbe kye, natunda assets zalina ateke mu campaign. Ekyo kyokka that act yoke kulaga nti expectations zo gwengo omulonzi. No. Omulonzi zina kuba really very very low.
Because oli atadde
ekyo. So kati
mortgage nyumba.
Yes, nti yafuka business.
Kujjayo sente ze.
Nekino kijja era singa olaba nti incentives ezo ziri mu parliament singa teziriyo n'abandi badde bagenda okwesimbawo bandi badde batono era zinagambako nti singa numba tugambako nti kakati member wa parliament oba all political positions steady salary. Tulabe bameka bani abagala ensi yabwe abandigenze. Ochegedde.
Paul abatachika parliament bona bajjula ne ba
batugambe konti tewali ki. It is purely serving. Tukulonde genda tukuwa mafuta kuda wakana sitting allowance odeka. No salary. Tulabe bameka abanavayo bagenti we are going for because abantu abamu tuna abasajja bafaintinga abamu bava mu kalulu emitima ne jirwala tebadanga because batekayo assets zaabwe zonna. Imagine okoledde emyaka 3 assets zonna ozitadde mu kalulu ate bakukubye. Ochegedde. Kati nono yennyini go tulonza agenzeeyo oli atugamba akozesa billioni 3. Billioni 3 mu parliament
zivayo
obo bala chi business kyeyo. So bino byonna incentives zino bwe ziyitirira obungi zitakowa value ya politics.
Omulamu gwali baddo
chovola bulwaleero n'eddoboozi ly'abannansi liri very low. Citizen tojja kuyimira utandike ku demanding for accountability from the leaders because tolina moral authority. Omanja chitetwemaliriza
nakuwa olwasa n'okivamu
twesoti
nakuwa olwasa n'okivamu musulu
tutolina kyomanja ebyange naye byakola ki.
Abdallah tutandikire ku topical discussion
ya why he crossed from journalism to politics. Atenga tusuubira nti even when you were a journalist you would want, maybe you would say you wanted to change society, but you with your microphone you would pass on your information and people would hear you.
Yes.
Why did you cross to politics?
Thank you so much. Why did I cross to politics? Everyone is a political animal. You cannot run away from politics.
But now this is engaging in fully like here I am standing and I'm
everyone is a politician.
I agree with you.
Because omusomesa bwagenda okusomesa. If there is bad politics, tajja kuba satisfied. Ajja kusomesanga emajiri mu nnyindo. Omusawo bw'aba agenza okujjanjaba, if there is bad politics, ajja kukola nga tali motivated. If there is bad politics, emisolo gigenda kuba mingi. If there is bad politics, development ejja kubaawo. Visible development. So, everyone is a politician. Now, I never crossed from journalism to politics. I only became an active politician.
You're already a politician.
I said everyone is a politician.
Okay, because politics, you know,
affects
all of us.
I only became an active politician. Ochegede? Because gubujenoga ninawo bogenda mu supermarket okugunaga ningo kasadde nnyo gotomanyi kiri mu gwanga emisolo omanyapo. That is politics. Only making that statement eri political akwa gotomanyi nti in politics. Bogenda kudduka okubako nekyogulo oyagala gula koti nibagamba koti eyo yase tunga babiseera bulala. That is a political statement. Nigo tukimanyi nti you've made a political statement. So everyone is in politics.
Okay.
The only difference, we have active politicians. Now, me, I only became active. But I was a politician, just like each of you is a politician here. Never pastor, but politician.
Kale Abdallah, why did you become an active politician?
Now,
politician.
Now, let's first understand these things.
Yes.
What is the purpose of journalism?
I would say personally to make the world a better place.
Good. The purpose of politics is to create a better society.
It's all the same. You would actually achieve the latter while you are still a journalist.
So now it is all the same. Kakati wano enonkozeseza babita batya? Oluzungu lulabika luweddeyo. Anyway, now this was strategy 1. This is strategy 2.
You went for strategy 2.
Ochegedde. We can create the impact in society nga buli omu ali best wawaali. Naye the level of impact differs. Ochegedde. The only difference when I become a member of parliament, I have more authority. Yes, okusingako when I'm on air. when I'm on TV, when I'm holding my microphone.
You're just speaking.
So, it is the essence of all this is to make society better for ourselves. Okay. Now, you cannot, by the way, separate journalism and political activism. Why? Political activism, or what you treat activism, is choosing what you want people to know. If you're in political activism, you just choose what the people should know. If it is okay, now let's look at these things like Black Lives Matter. You only choose to focus, to concentrate on Black lives. So, if there is Black Lives Matter, should a journalist put down my guns, my equipment? Because I don't want to be into that?
Because there are a lot of things to talk about.
Including that. So why should I not talk about that?
Because I'm not interested.
Now, that is the difference.
Yes.
That is the difference. That is why me, I went into active politics and you didn't. Because you felt comfortable serving where you are. But
you
again,
also didn't feel comfortable where you were and you decided to enter
yes.
politics. Okay.
So it is the same thing. Just like we have bits. One would say, I want to report politics. One would say, I want to report on health. One will say, I want to business. One will say, I want to go for sports. But we're all journalists. Yes? And the purpose, whoever is reporting on politics, whoever is reporting on maybe is justice, whatever the case. The reason why you should come to, what is the name of this place? Okay. If you come to Lukuli, where there is water crisis, as a journalist, you're making that story for what reason?
For them to bring the water, basically.
Yes. So the only difference is that me as a politician, I even have the capacity to do it myself.
To go there and tell the parliament and
speak
and the government.
I can go because for you have no space in parliament. Much as you stay on ground, you're on the scene, you've seen everything, you know how people are struggling to get water, but you cannot go to parliament and raise that issue.
I will go get the story in
That is it.
That's what you can do.
That is you're only limited to that.
But let me ask Abdallah, quick one. Before, when you were still a journalist,
I am still a journalist.
When you were, I'm going, because right now you're active in politics.
You are not.
I'm going to use the word "way." When you were a journalist, you were seen with your colleague in Besige's camp, and you were already being an activist, and you're already, fighting the police, against the police. That showed that maybe you were partisan by then. Can we say that you were compromised when you were still a journalist?
I don't know the source for your information.
It's a source.
But yes, that's why I said I don't know where you get the information. But I've never been to church. I am a Muslim. I've never been to church. To get news. Did I become a Catholic?
No.
I've never been to Rubaga Cathedral. I've been to Namirembe. I've been to UCKG, there's a church behind UCPS. I've never converted to Christian.
What is the name of Besige's place? I've forgotten.
Kasangati.
Yes, I'm Kasangati.
Just like I've ever been
covering a story.
I've been to Rakitura.
And fighting the police.
Yes.
It is on record.
Yes, I've been everywhere.
Fighting the police.
No, wait. The only difference, when I went to Rakitura, no one was there to fight me. But I've been to Rakitura, I've been to State House, I've been everywhere.
Yeah, but you are reminding me of a bulletin I was watching on NTV. And then there were two screens, and you would see in the elections, 2020 election, you would see inside there is Herbert Ziwa. He is at the NRM.
Yes.
He's wearing suits and he's all looking nice.
Yes.
And then there is this gentleman who has just gotten married, John Cliff. John Cliff was like, Banange, Tulia, no, but we're here, Herbert Ziwa. Hey, yo, Herbert Ziwa.
Yes,
he's all looking nice.
So, now, nature ataka tichikulaga. Chikuzale ku discussion ya society. Nti, lwaki bwe mbangenzo okufuna amawulire ewa Besigye, I have to fight with the police. Nati bwe mbangenzo gajjerwa Kitura.
It's all
there is no police.
Milkanani.
Wachagede. Because we have been everywhere. To report in Zimbabwe.
Weren't you partisan by then? That's the question I want to ask. Weren't you partisan right then?
Edgar, so kosome studio line nga tanadda mu kibuuzo.
Okay. The number is 0789017145. Tukubireko by the kusimu otubulire kicho lowooza ku mwami Abdallah Tiff kyali mu kwogerako wano. Tuli ku program The Mighty Drive ebeerayo buli lunaku lwa Monday paka ku Friday kuva ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya paka ku ssaawa 2 paka ku ssaawa 3 ez'okumakya. Tukyali n'omwami eyali omunnamawulire wadde alemerako agamba akyali munnamawulire. But okay, you can still go back. But right now, you're in politics. Let's continue with the discussion.
Yes. The point I was trying to make is that because if I become partisan,
by then,
kubanga gwe onekifaananyi kye walaba nga tuli ewa Besigye
nga muyiyeewo nnyo omubiri
gwe twayiwawo tegwali gwa byabufuzi, gwali gw'abamawulire, because police was trying to block us from covering the news, from getting the news. But and if there was any scenario of the same, nga ngenze lwakitulo oba mu State House or anywhere, ne wabeerawo with another resistance nti you shouldn't get news stories from here, still kyenakole kasangati I would still do it. Okay. I remember it also happened one time they were impeaching the Lord Mayor. Yeah? Twali awo get like we are not giving you access to the city hall. We put up the same fight as journalists, fighting for our rights as journalists. So fighting for our rights doesn't matter where you are. Oba you belong to those abatulugunya bana Uganda, oba oli kuside yabo abali oppressed, whatever you are, the right remains right.
Abdallah, the question is, there is a massive exodus of journalists and they're entering the political field. Some have failed to actually get these positions, but some have actually got these positions. The Joel Senyonyi there are very, very many people who have left journalism and actually crossed. Why is it that we're having a massive exodus of journalists? Is it that you've seen enough? I don't know. What is the justification for this massive exodus?
One,
people are leaving the newsroom.
Yes, I understand. The truth is, I think journalists, we are so much on the ground than anyone else.
You know what's going on.
We know what is happening to the lives of the people. We know the challenges in the communities better than anyone else. Actually, many of those leaders, the politicians you see, they're so much detached. They don't know what is happening on the ground. In reality. So, when journalists try to bring out these issues to the public, there is less action being taken. Yeah? Now, let me give you this example. I personally, I've got children from the streets. I've got them. Ochegedde. Nga nagenda nenkola stories zange as a journalist about street kids and then that was like, no, I can't see these kids here. Wempita every day. I did my good story, but every morning in Baitako they're in the same place. Something must be done. Ochegedde. Something must be done. Then I said, no, we need to. That's what I said. Everyone can change the society. But the only difference, the magnitude of what you can do differs based on the positions you're holding. When I was a journalist, the best I could do was that. Then maybe if I get a louder voice, if I get much more mandate than speaking, yeah, a lot can be done. So, whatever bannamawulire banji nga bavaayo, this is the same cause with journalism. Journalism is making society better. So, if you're doing this and there is no action, you're trying to say, Banangi, bano tebalina mazzi. And those who should come and take action, they're not listening. Then, do something. Yes, that is it.
Bannamawulire mugamba nti mwe abali ku ground ne bannamateeka bagenda gamba ffe abategeera amateeka.
Anti kubo bategeera amateeka tebamanyi kiri ku ground.
Ate munaabagati bye mutategeera eri ebiyamba abantu.
Kakati ate ebyo birala. By the way, and that question is good. Nina, as discussing with certain certain groups of people, certain group of nga discussing ne bagamba twetaaga okujjawo enkola ya this decentralization we have.
Someone is calling. Let's first pick them up and kill the discussion. Good morning. Welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Good morning. Norman.
Yes, Norman.
Thanks for you guys getting narrative. Narrative, I think, is one of those few young people that at a personal level I like his commitment.
Thank you.
And that information about a few. Neighbor, Abdallah, ababayambye bakumenye. Farida ne Edgar everything bangako yakwatira kimoni. Kye bajja kitegeera. Bajja kwetolooza. Kye babitegeera kati boyi n'abanyegera bya muzindaalo banga reporting live banga biteeri. Bajja kumenyera bwerere bajja fana. Banga nibo abanyegera bajja bitegeera. But to say, for me, I think there is a fundamental problem with our generation,
yes.
And Edgar, for it. That young people have become so misled. First, they have even gone ahead to mislead themselves, and in their ignorance, they brag. I mean, we have lost focus as a generation, most likely because we are coping from a certain generation. Because if we were honest to ourselves, but then you wouldn't have lost, because the voters, the electorate, are of no age. At the level of president, so you find that the whole generation, but the whole country is messed up. But it's also isolated. We can't do the whole. The best we can do is to encourage the likes of you and others to keep preaching the gospel of change, and one day by God's grace we shall reach there. Finally, this is a question to you. Eno weevu omwana gwakoleka gutya naye manyi ojala kakofiira kana akagoja akawedde manvuli yako manvuli wagiramu ebintu enkuba egenda kuyitamu wakola otya naye manyi awuwayitira naye simanyi tekyatuukawo. Finally, I want to thank you kubanga walimera ku lines walimu. Thank you for not being a political prostitute. Those who take advantage of them, to where it exists, so you know it has mombe gagondi bakita mombe ebinyanza gondi mawe yagamba kuibwe byagala ikiwano so I wish to thank you for keeping in Gemma as a friend. I appreciate that you weren't driven by that wave.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Norman.
Thank you, Norman. Just to correct, byetwogerako tubimanyi. So, but the thing is, yes, he has brought up a good question.
Yes.
Saying the wave. But there's a challenge I've realized. Many people, I don't know why many people were in the political game, and mostly the opposition, when the NUP came into play, it looks like it was a threat to them, but rather being maybe another ground for them to merge and then believe in what they believed in. We've seen merging working in different countries, for example the Malawis. Why is it that here in Uganda people feel intimidated or were intimidated by the National Unity Platform instead of just merging and becoming the opposition that maybe would have taken Tibuhaburwa crazy?
Thank you, Edgar, and I also want to thank Comrade Norman, who have been in the trenches some time back.
That's why there's like a connection. I was when someone calls
we were in the trenches, but on different fronts. I was holding cameras, and he was also into. Yes,
but you had the same belief.
Yes. Now, to respond to what you've said and Norman's question, there is a problem in this country. Our politics is not driven or based on ideology.
Thank you.
Our politics here is built on personalities.
Regionalism.
You get?
From the Museveni, the messages, the Bobby Wines.
And then, when you say when NUP came, it would have been a welcome. It would have been welcomed by the other actors
who have been there.
But it also depends on the spirit in which it's coming.
Was it a bad spirit?
I don't know. May I said it depends. I don't know. May I said it depends on the spirit.
Okay.
You get? If I am coming to visit your home,
yes,
the spirit you perceive my coming determines how you welcome me.
You're welcomed, definitely.
Ochagedde?
Yes.
Nyiza okuba nzija nogahana naye omusajja oyo
mama
abaana anasigala.
That's the thing.
You see? Naye omusajja oyo bw'anajja nga luligibwe, you know. So ekyo kisigala mu Bannayuganda n'abo abamuwerukaminga n'abatamuwerukaminga. It depends on how
they perceive
his spirit of coming.
Yes. But the thing is,
maybe even himself.
Now, I'm telling you from an informed point of view as a journalist, many of this opposition received the Chagulanyis as a threat. But what they failed to realize was this, that Chagulanyi came and was representing a generation, an ideology of a certain generation. Because when you look at prior to Chagulanyi's coming to power or to coming to the political scene, there was a problem when young people were not really indulging toward politics. It was a few, the Normans, who were there, and some of those BCJ, people who believed in him, let me say the 30s and upwards. But when Chagulanyi came into the game, instead of welcoming this generation of the 18s, the 16s, the 19s, the 20s, the 23, people started to bar them, saying, we have been in the struggle more. Don't you think self-centeredness, as you said, individualism of personalities, that this one is best, and don't you think they just worsened the situation?
Now,
for you guys to take
I want to first respond like this.
Yes, sir.
I personally welcomed Chagulanyi.
Yes, because Gemma really welcomed Chagulanyi.
I welcome personally. I said personally. I welcomed him because I'd had interactions with him before, not discussing politics.
As a person.
Yes, I hosted him several times. Even when he got into politics, actually that's when I started hosting him a lot, because I was hosting a political show. Now, we all know Chagulanyi's coming was representing a generation.
Definitely.
How old do you think I am?
I think you're 30 plus. I cannot.
Yes. I contested. I first stood as a member of parliament in 2016. Do you think I was too old?
No.
So which generation was new?
There's a generation
that was representing
of the year 18.
Yes.
I want to be specific.
No, I'm telling you.
Of students below
I understand.
17,
I understand.
18, 19.
So the 16.
Up to like 26. Let's be sure.
The 16 years, are they voters?
No,
because
let me tell you,
they are not.
Many had ndagamuntu in school.
No.
If you had an ID, you would still go and vote.
Edgar, a 16-year-old kid.
But they have
so,
IDs.
The point I'm trying to make. Yes, we welcome the Chagulanyi. Yes? But what I want to dispute...
Some of you didn't welcome. Just say Gemma welcome.
But he said personally. He welcomed
he said we. He used the pronoun we.
Okay.
Yes.
Now.
Maybe as Gemma. But
now,
as FDC and other political...
I will not speak for other people.
He's not here for FDC.
I will not speak for other actors. But the point I'm trying to make, I want to dispute this. Yes, it has been said many times. Chagulanyi is coming, it awakened the youth and all that.
It's true.
It is okay.
It is very true.
But now I've asked you a question.
Yes.
I contested in 2016. Do you think I was too old?
No, you weren't.
So what happened? Who inspired me?
How many people by then?
Who prepared me to come, to join the politics?
Maybe you had an individual perspective.
I was there.
But I'm talking about kids who by the day, you remember that Gombo, you remember even the voter turnout would be older guys. Because people believe that leadership is for the old. That is true.
The only thing I want to say is that Chagulanyi is coming. It gave a widespread kind of enlightening the youth, the young people.
Of their rights.
You get, yes. You get. Not necessarily taking part into politics. Because me, I contested when I'm below 30. I contested as a member of parliament.
Yes.
So meaning, Chagulanyi is coming or not coming would not affect me.
You as an individual.
And there are so many, there are many people I know who contested when they're below 30. I know them. I can even mention them if you want. Now, Chagulanyi is coming only helped us to spread this gospel further. That you look, the young people, you're the biggest stakeholders of this country. Take part. Now, we need to look into the essence. No, I need to first respond to Norman's question. He thought I would join the wagon and Kakofi and all that, which is not bad. NUP is a good party. Unfortunately, it came at a time when my minds are not settled to learn, to read and understand what is NUP. The only difference between me and other people, I think for myself. You remember in the start I told you what you see in me is what you... So I think for myself. Much as I would love NUP, but what would I tell voters about NUP? Because you went to the polls when NUP is 2 months old. What you get?
Yeah.
Me, I've been in Jema since 2014. Actually, since 2016.
You know what we're talking
I've been in Jema. I can stand and speak about Jema for 2 hours. I cannot stand and speak about NUP for 2 hours. Jebiri na nze sibimanyi nali sibimanyi. Jebiri.
By then we tebiri ukatugambe.
Anze simanyi ya Jebiri na yenze personally. At a personal level nali sikola ki?
Wali tobimanyi.
Nali togenda kwogera ku kintu kyo.
Two. Okujja kwa Kyagulanyi. Nze nali regional coordinator wa People Power. I was in charge of 7 districts. Yes?
Yeah.
I was in charge of Busia, Tororo, Budaka, Palisa, Chibuku, Butevo, and there's another district I'm forgetting. So I was the regional coordinator for People Power. The movement. I was never consulted. I never even had an opportunity to sit and tell me that, you know, now you, because the People Power movement, I had people from different political platforms.
It was joining every
JEMA, FDC, even NRM. So I never, maybe they forgot to invite me if it happened.
For the consultation meeting, whether they should form a political
Not really consulting, but informing you that, you know, you've been this, now there is this, now you give us your stand. Even to educate me about NUP, to ease my communication when I'm, because I was, yes, that opportunity never happened. So, much as I would love NUP, I would still face challenges explaining NUP to the voters. Two, the spirit of our politics also dies off. If today I am here, the other day you're there, the other day you're there. I think we need to know, these politicians must be identified with certain ideologies. What you see means what you get.
Let's talk about the political bickering that has been in this country, the opposition especially. A time came when the citizenry was united, but it felt like our leaders, the politicians, are disunited. What has brought about the bickering between the opposition, and yet they have the same goal? The same goal is to oust this regime and maybe President Museveni as an individual. Why is it that they have failed deliberately to unite and take power?
Uganda is a multi-party
dispensation, true,
country which has many political parties.
Definitely.
Yeah? I happen to sit on the National Consultative Forum on the League and Human Rights Committee.
Yes.
Now, the existence of NUP, the existence of NRM, the existence of DP, GEM and other parties, that is enough to explain why the bickering is there.
Okay.
Yeah?
But let me bring
No, I got your point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make you and our viewers understand it well.
Yes.
Yeah? You can't expect NUP, FDC, DP, GEMA, PPP, CP and others to be united.
But it has worked here in this country before.
No.
It
worked and ousted which government?
The Obote government. You remember how many people, how many factions were in the bush in 1980? How many were there?
Now, let's look at this in this sense.
Yes.
Yes? GEM as a party has its own ideology.
Definitely.
And the reason I choose to join German, not
because
DP,
they have their own ideology.
No.
You believe in that ideology.
The reason I joined German, not DP, is because I do not subscribe to the ideas of DP. So you can't expect us to be united.
What is your goal?
But what happened? No. The goal should be beyond ousting the regime. It is totally different.
Oh God.
But what happens? We have seen coalitions.
Yes.
The DP you're talking about, the 1980 elections you're referring to, those were coalitions.
I'm not even talking about the election. I'm talking about the war itself.
Oh, you're talking about the war? No.
Yes.
Me, I'm referring to the 1980 elections.
No, the election.
Now,
You can bear witness.
So,
elections in Uganda
what happens?
are really fair.
What happens?
Yes.
They are coalitions. Yes. And these coalitions, they are not permanent.
Yes, for a certain goal.
They only work for that particular period of time.
Definitely.
So if it's elections time, you sell your ideas, and for those who buy, they do.
They subscribe to you.
And if one doesn't, simusango.
Simusango, chitufu.
Kubanga, by the fact into ono Jema ono DP, don't expect them to agree on everything.
Don't you think that's the main reason why you have failed to take power as the opposition?
Who is opposition?
35 years.
Who is opposition?
Opposition is NUP, JEMA, FDC, DP, all you political parties that are not NRM. You have failed to take power for the last 35 years.
Edgar, let me tell you this. Opposition is not a person. No one is called opposition. Even the next day, NRM will be opposition.
Definitely.
But
you have failed to do that.
Don't expect NUP, FDC, DP, JEMA, and PPPP to start thinking on the same page. It can never happen. Because each party has its own agenda. Each party has its own strategy. Each party has its own ideology.
Some agendas are not to take power in this country, but to remain opposition.
Edgar's point is, okay, you all have different ideologies,
but you have one common ground.
You have a common goal.
But you have failed to see the common
ground. Let's just that make you people just come together and achieve that, and then maybe go back to your own.
I think let's take this in this. Let's look at this in this sense. Now, JEMA, FDC, DP, UPC, CP, PPP, Green Partisan Party, and all those parties, assuming they are together, it's one force. Who becomes the president? Because each party wants to be. No. Wait. That's what I said. This depends on how you relate with those people in terms of ideology. You cannot bring people together when they are of different ideologies.
But we've seen it working in Malawi.
My brother, what happened in Malawi?
We've seen it
Chakwera
in Uganda.
No, Nelson Chakwera of Malawi. Yes. It was just a coalition for that particular time.
That's what I'm saying.
And now what happens? How many political parties are in Malawi?
There are various political
How many?
parties. I may not name them offhand, but
Uganda has over 39 political parties. Yes. You can't expect 39 heads to. Abaganda by no government.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is this. Let me say this. FDC has tried to fight President Museveni and other political parties.
Each party has tried.
And they have failed. And yet, if maybe, that's just a projection, that if maybe they united and they brought one political party, one political candidate, and let's say that they are all believing in this political candidate, maybe it would have been the vice versa. That is what Ugandans, and you as a journalist know this, Ugandans down there have been aspiring for a unity of opposition forces. Why is it because you're self-centered?
Edgar, we've had these coalitions. They have not worked. Have you ever heard of the G6?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Wasn't it a coalition?
You even tried the one of 2015.
No. Haven't you heard of the IPC? Interparty coalition. It was there. It didn't work.
Have you brought one political candidate on a ballot paper?
No.
My brother. IPC. How many candidates did IPC present?
There's always, and DP will bring, at least they will bring.
That is when they don't subscribe to that, that coalition.
You know, there's something.
Listen, that is when they don't subscribe to the coalition. That's what I said. You cannot force these people to think on the same page. We had the IPC.
Yes.
IPC, it was there. It had JEMA, UPC, and I think FDC. Yes? And they all stood behind Chiza Besige. We had the TDA.
That one fell out before 2016.
So you cannot blame these people. You cannot blame these political actors.
There is individualism in the...
Not individualism. By the fact that this is German, this is DP, this is FDC, they cannot think on the same page.
Let us first let us seize our debate right there, because
even the People Power was the movement for a short-term movement for the elections.
Did not even have a symbol, because that is what they are aspiring for. They are like,
and wait, and now that is a mistake. That is a problem. A coalition cannot have a symbol. The moment you have a symbol, that is now something else. If it is a coalition, we are like, this is FDC, DP, JEMA, and we are all standing behind FDC.
We are remaining with a few minutes. This is really an interesting debate. We are having Mr. Abdallah Tiff. He is an MP aspirant of Busia and
Busia Municipality.
Busia Municipality. He has been a journalist as well. And he is with us, and we are having an intense talk talking about different things in the country. But before I want you to get something that is trending in the country, and that is President Museveni is saying that capital offenders should not be given bail. And he has stood his ground, and he has been saying this for a long time now. And I think he's serious this time around. What's your comment on that?
I want to first, I was reading something. I think I should say this in Uganda.
Yes, sir.
Abe masaka bawulire. Sigenti aba masaka tibamanyi. Sigenti tibe batamanyi luzungu. Naye
bo bannabuddu.
Naye yogedde mu lwabwe.
Kanjogerako mu lwebuddu. Now, abaka fe masaka bali around 30 people.
Yes.
Abe bijambia. Balese honorable Alan Sewanyana. Baba charging okubanga batta abantu basatu. What happened to the 27? Because botunulira ebigenda mu ggwanga, by the Mwami Museveni alina record ey'okugwa eddalu.
Nakola atya ne maana bamujanjaba.
Tokimanyi? Tokiwulira nga nako. Ebintu ebimu mujabira nga mulowooza. Omusajja is acting normally. Nenga is really not out. He's not in his stomach.
Yabagamba tanywa na kumwenge.
Abakadde baba n'ebirwadde by'ekikadde. Kakati Mwami Museveni ayagala kutugamba is trying to change the law. Equally vice versa. Until the moment you, because these are suspects.
They have not been convicted.
No, they're just suspects. Tusubiza busubiza nti Edgar olabika wazizza omusango. Kakati bwe nakuta, then the next day nenchizula nga ate Edgar siye yasse, Farida ye yasse.
Ngana yo mutta.
Tunakujayo engoma z'okufa. So Mr. Museveni ayina problem.
Ekyo kyekizibu. But he's
by the way, yes, he is.
He has to.
Naye ajja kubiyisa. Naye Uganda. Ndowooza eri abantu ekyali muka abantu abali soba. Okyegedde.
For the first time we saw him and
eri abantu abakyali soba.
Backlashing.
Yes, automatically that is expected. Much as the Chief Justice Bakadabe and all that. But eri ebintu ebiri too obvious. Nga tosobola ku leading a country in such a dilemma. Tosobola. Kubanga the law says you're innocent until yes. So he absolutely has no right to change that.
He has
much as the
constitution
president
before, hasn't he?
No, ekyo kirala.
Yes,
ekyo kirala. Ekyo constitution kirala. Kino kyo
it's like a global
yes.
law maybe.
It's by the way, yes.
Because bail is
tekisoboka ekyo.
All right, Farida, so many message because I think we're coming to the end of the show.
Naye ate before Farida nga tannasoma njagala kwogera kino ekintu. Especially to the young generation.
Yeah.
No man, I mentioned something yakubye simu. Naga nti waliwo generation problem. Abavubuka bennyini one tebekiririzaamu. Chovola buli ajja n'agamba afe Kyagulanyi tuzukusa, but there are those who were there before nga bakyali bato nga bavubuka. Otegedde. So kyetugezaako kyenjagala okugamba abavubuka balina oba tulina okuba very careful mu biseera bino. eno government gye tulina it has destabilized this country for over 50 years. Mr. Museveni has destabilized this country for over 50 years. All the violences that has happened in this country, right from Amini's time, Museveni tosobola mujjawo. Actually, when Amini took power, like today, the next day Museveni,
he was sure that
Museveni the next day, Yavao, he started fighting him.
In one day.
That's
fact.
Mumanyizi no story wano Benedict ono gubawamba. Emotoka gye balaba yamuwamba bagisanga ngani agivuga embale emuruku ani yali agivuga Museveni. So the young people balina okwegendereza right now. Tebalina kwedamaginga. Eno government erina capacity okujja bakutega ebisago bya ssente bakukozesa ensobi ofune enkovu. Abakulembeze betulaba olwaleero bonna bonna betwegomba those strong politicians today tebajja kuweza myaka 15 nga bakyali relevant ku political scene. Meaning wajja kubeerawo vacuum y'abakulembeze. Bwetunoonya Edgar nga tukwetaga wano waliwo vacuum, we need someone to occupy it. Tutuuka ku Edgar ono nga bebamu abaali batucunya. You know, because we're damaging. So abavubuka, you're the biggest stakeholders of this country. Mulina responsibility nene to create the right trajectory for this country, the direction where we should head.
And they should remember that there's a generation that is...
You should not damage yourself. This regime can come with incentives in courts just to divert you, to lure you into that. Bakudamaging.
Kasula Ismail is watching live from Hoima, webale kubeerako. Lilian Luwede, Gamba, thanks for the show. She is watching live. Okuva Wali, Boston. Senf Kalobad. Personally, I think 25 million is a very small facilitation to a sensible and reasonable member of parliament committed to the cause of the country. That is why they are always poor. He thinks 25 million is a very small facilitation to a sensible and reasonable member. Atali sensible ziba nyingi, I think, based on what he has written here.
We thank him for watching.
Tumihimbi seno mano oite Emmanuel Odo Anthony mwena mwebali kubeerako abasinga bagamba thanks for the show. It was very informative. Thanks Abdallah for coming through. Thank
it's
you for
a pleasure.
Thanks for being objective. Naye nga ate tetunakusigula.
Has he been objective?
Yes, I've been.
No, he has been. Kati ninyo commenting ngako ku bannamawulire abatakipinze professionalism.
By the way, I used to host a political talk show. Much as navanga ku show ninza ate mu politics. But some guys could say, gwe manu tukunyanga atali wafe. You know? Naye that is because eriyo wotukanga we do not have to mislead the audience. Yeah. Naye ate problem ebeerawo. By the way, I am one person who doesn't expect leaders to be right all the times. But at least they should be right many times. Si kyangu kusanga mukulembeze nga buli kyakola kituufu. Wachegedde?
Maybe I know kole.
At least kale ebituufu bye biba bisinga obuki?
Obungi.
So, problem weeva oluusi nti ne betwogeddeko wano wali tetuna gwe tuwahiriza tetuna kye twogedde naye wali azimbye omu akafunya akasajja wano kubanga twogedde ku kyatayagala kuwulira. Naye ate the truth is bino abantu tulina okubibagamba babimanye. Abaganda bagamba baba tumanyi gy'ova tuyinza kumanya gy'olaga. So we all need a better Uganda. We all need a country nga tulina equal stake. Nga temuli abaana n'ebyana. Nina waliwo abadde eno, it was a joke. Naga kati oli musajja banne bali erimu, those are light jokes. Awasama yo nagamba ono mulangira tunagamba obulangira okubulayo omulangira okuba omulangira nga ndi mwavu kambeera omukopi nga nnemu ku kasente. So mu mbeera yonna gye tulimu, we need a better country which works for everyone. Eggwanga nga ffenna bwe tuyimira tosooka kumbuuza ggwanga lyange, tosooka kumbuuza ddiini yange. Gwe obadde okimanyi nti Mwami Museveni yali yayita Kasimu? Gwe obadde okimanyi nti Mbabazi yali Ahmed? Because bino baabikolanga okusiiga ekifaananyi nti omusiraamu aba mubi olwaliro bakwata Abdallah Tiff tebajaga nti Abdallah Tiff bamukutte bakutte omusiraamu bakwata Edgar bagamba bakutte Edgar because kino kiddayo ku kiri kyenaga nti walina ebintu bibakoze deliberately wano waliwo abasajja nga balina amanya ga kisiraamu nenga si basiraamu waliwo nole yafasha bandi bantaliza nga si musiraamu Museveni alina muganda ye George Kaleb akanda naho temwebuza akola kiba mwita Salim Sale so bitwetage gwanga nga terisosola muntu kutunulira gwanga lye dini ye wadde political grouping yo because we cannot all subscribe to one single political thinking tekisoboka.
All right, thank you so much for
abatulaba mwenna abatukubidde ku masimu n'ababadde batugoberera ku mitimbagano mwenna tubeebaza ate nange era neebaza ba alternative TikTok okumpa ku mukisa guno nzaani bannange nange okujja okushalingako obulowoozo bwange eri eggwanga bulowoozo so I am indeed humbled mukisa gw'amaanyi era nsaba temukomangaawo n'olala mumpite n'olala mumpite era nange nzije ngateka eddoboozi lyange waakirire mu bye twogera ebingi omwe asobola opiikingamu ekimu ebibiri naga wadde ebirala byabadde nonsense artistic kano kabaddemu sensible. So I really thank you guys and thanks for being good moderators. Yes, you artists keep the show. Yes, mujiwo obulamu and this is really good. Yes.
There's a lady who told me, you are NRM. If she says I'm NRM and the other one says I'm opposition, that means I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Abadde ku Facebook live comments mbadde so azimalayo lwansonga ezimu questions mubadde mwebaza so mbebaza bawamu nti ate mwebale kubeerako Edgar Mathew Karuhanga timu gyebaza okola otusibule tuvewa.
Thank you so much ladies and gentlemen. No man tumisa tukubiddeko na buli omu abadde ku the show the Mighty Drive. Tugenda komawo olujja kuba lunaku lwanki omulangira agenda kubeerawo then ku Wednesday era tukomawo Thursday tulina in-house Thursday then Friday okimanyi tubeera ne musical drive. Ladies and gentlemen, sikoze nzeka koze n'omukyala Teddy Nabukeera ye producer wange olunaku then omwami Rogers Tulyahabwe yabadde ku camera then director owokuntiko ye mwami Katutu Musime. Thank you so much and of course the program's director Mr. Mukose Arnold Anthony. Till we meet again, you will be seeing me on Wednesday. Tomorrow it's going to be Farida.
We have Voltage today.
By the way, we have Voltage today at 7 p.m. Voltage show with Lillian Luwede. It will be airing and then on Wednesday you will see me, but tomorrow omulangira agenda kubeera wano. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I still speaking? Good morning, Uganda.
Alternative TikTok. Real issues, real talk.